What's good? Stormy B-Man, and I'm back with another Stormy B-Man's Briefs. This time, the focus is on some comments that have been made recently by Teofimo Lopez entering his fight this coming Saturday, June 29th, against Steve Claggett. Teofimo was responding to Shakur Stevenson, who's calling him out for a potential future fight. Teofimo has been noted to refer to Stevenson as to stay in your lane. And I find that very interesting, as Teo has used other fighters of prominence in the sport, such as Terrence Bud Crawford, who's not even in the same division as he, and is actually moving a division further, separating himself from where Teofimo currently competes. And Bud Crawford is seeking higher ground still with the likes of possibly a future date with Canelo Alvarez. But Teo has been calling out Bud. Now, we have Shakur calling out Teo. And the funny thing is, Shakur is only 5 pounds away and is looking for competition not only at 135, the lightweight division, but at super lightweight at the 140-pound division, where Teo currently happens to have a title. Shakur is 21-0 with 10 KOs, and he is looking to go beyond that division, and he's been avoided by the top fighters in the sport. So he's calling out fighters like Teo. Now Teofimo, who is 20-1 with 13 KOs, he's known to have said that Shakur Stevenson needs to stay at 135 and fight more aggressively because his hit and not get hit style isn't cutting it. With that style, Stevenson can't get the fights he wants against him. Those are the sentiments coming from Teo, but if you really think about it, Teo has used that as a defense mechanism, avoiding stiff competition even when he was competing in the lightweight division himself. Certain fighters, such as Tank Davis and Devin Haney, he didn't fight, and he made up similar excuses when he talked about it. But the article in Boxing News 24 says that it's hypocritical for Teofimo to reject the fight against Shakur based on fighting a weight class below him at 135, because he's called out Terrence Crawford, who fights at 154. That is what I just said about Teo. And Teo is doing these things because he recognizes that if he can attach his name to more prominent fighters in the sport, he can keep a little bit of media coverage for himself and to stimulate talk about possibilities when he has no intent of trying to face off these type of fights. Now, he's 26 years old, and what he doesn't recognize is going into the age of where you can consider prime, 28, 29, the sport can pass you by very quickly, especially when you stall yourself out with inactivity and facing lesser opposition. Now, the quote from Boxing News says that Teo was criticizing Shakur's fighting style by saying, "I know you are calling us out at 140, but you're fighting at 135. Stay in your lane." You know, he says, "I know that you got to keep yourself relevant, but there's a type of relevancy you've got to do. That means you've got to fight. You've got to really fight." Teo meaning that Shakur has got to be willing to stand in the pocket and exchange with his opposition rather than using his usual elusive hit and not get hit fighting style. Isn't that really interesting, coming from a guy who doesn't do these things himself, especially when it comes to signing the contracts? This is something that people need to pay attention to. The fighters will tell on themselves. Again, Teo has been noted to talk a little bit too much and reveal many more aspects of the sport than he cared to do, and has paid a penalty for it. But going forward, it would be interesting to see him take on his contemporaries. But what do you think? This is Stormybman. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know what you think about a future fight that could take place between Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson. That'll be something I'd pay to see. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.